Hey, it's Pastor Kurt Herbert from the Edge Urban Church, and with me,
Hey, my name is Chase Stansel. I'm the lead pastor at Unison Christian Church, and glad to be together with my my friend, kind of talk about some cool things going on with both of us.
yeah, I think we met like 2016. It's been almost 10 years.
So even if it was like 10 years ago, the whole COVID thing made everything feel like it was much longer. So basically, we've known each other since childhood. We knew each other before the world changed.
We've gone through the trenches, right? Gone through the trenches. Just building relationship, getting to know each other, serving together, both churches partnering on different things, joint services and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. It's just been a pleasure getting to know Chase and Christine. And so as we were the Edge, just kind of processing some ministry shifts and changes that we've been having over the last 2 to 3 years, God's just been shifting us into a missional model. We leaned really heavy into that, going into schools, partnering with multiple churches. And it just felt like as we started doing that, a lot of needs started popping up that we did not have the capacity to serve well. And I remember some months ago, somebody asked the question, a board member, what about our structure? Like, is our structure still serving the Edge well? And I did not like that question. I did not like that question. I was irritated by it. But
which I feel like anybody would honestly be.
It's like, what are you talking about? It's going well. It's going well, right? but as we processed through it, prayed through it, invited members into it, it's like maybe that's a serious conversation that we need to have. And so Chase and I just as in relationship, like just reached out and. I'd love to hear your perspective, though, on kind of where Unison was even before this conversation started.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one, it has been a joy to kind of watch as the Edge has evolved into being more engaged in schools and more engaged in this missional model. That has been exciting for us to pray for, to kind of cheer you on. Unison has been a congregation for about 11 years, or 11 and a half years. And through the ups and downs of urban ministry here in West Michigan, as part of the Wesleyan Church, which we've both been able to kind of share. We've grown through a number of those kind of similar challenges and really landed well in a discipleship model that is highly relational, a discipleship model that is uber creative and also very intentional about how we do multi-ethnic ministry, how we engage with our neighbors, but also specifically how we engage in helping people to grow in their faith and grow as a community of people holistically. But that said, that we have struggled with what it is for us to be as engaged consistently externally. We've got people who are a part of Unison who are truly, truly both passionate and called and gifted toward engaging in more missional ways of doing ministry and social justice and ways to be involved in the broader community of Grand Rapids and beyond. And it's been difficult for us to be able to find, one, the leadership and the consistent energy to keep that moving. And so that's kind of where we were, even before we started talking together about, all right, we've got these two things happening.
Right, right. So, so as we're doing that, living out God's calling as best as we could faithfully, seeing our own gaps, because we all have them, right? That's what it means to be human. But then as we start having the conversation, what would partnership look like? What could it look like? It was just really interesting that we started seeing that, hey, God's been preparing us along some of the same questions. There's certain like leadership things, structure things that we individually as different organizations been wrestling through. And as we start having that conversation, we started to see a synergy between what we do, the Edge, and also what Unison does, and how those really complement each other well. Um, and so, just because we're visionary people, we got kind of excited. We got excited about, man, what could this look like if we actually joined forces, if we united, if we linked arms, and pursued the mission together. We're like 99% on the same journey. So
yes, really, honestly, shockingly so.
Yeah.
At times. So yeah, for sure. So it's a joy for us to talk about uniting, actually being a part of one family, one kind of group. Yes, having some separate missions in terms of how we engage in ministry, but really being united in that sounds exciting. So that's kind of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
We coming together,
Right.
y'all.
Yeah. So just uniting, linking arms. Obviously, the Edge. We reach urban youth and young adults in the city. Unison has a broader footprint. But what would it look like for us to kind of link arms so that both of those groups of people are served well, and that there's cross pollination between the two groups? So
Yeah, so that's kind of how we got here. I mean, you talked about us knowing one another for a while, but also there's this rich history between even Unison and the Edge, both organizations. Like we have known each other for a good amount of time since we were kids, apparently. But also the truth is, Edge and the Unison have known each other since they were kids too, right?
Yeah.
And so to be able to join together, not just relationally as people, but organizationally as well, feels really good as a whole. So I like that.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like a family reunion.
whew.
Family reunion. So that's exciting for us. So yeah, as we've been processing this, talking, like we invite, because this is just who we are, inviting our team and the church into the conversation, mentors into the conversation. It's just become so clear that this is not just a good idea. If you know either of us, you know that we're not just about good ideas. So this has been something that's been in the works for months. Praying and discerning together. And we just sense that God is saying, "Yep, this is something I've been working on for a minute."
Yes. Yes. So then God's been working on it for a minute. From our perspectives, what do we feel like stays the same? What do we feel like is a change? Because I feel like anytime you've got a big thing like this, that's inevitable. Change is an inevitable reality. And so I don't want that to make us afraid, but I do want us to be able to kind of cast a little bit of a clear vision about what we see. One of the things that we've talked about is we talked about this with our staffs, and even when we were together the other day, that nothing good starts big, right? It'll always start small. If it's going to be lasting, if it's going to actually be fruitful, it starts as a seed. And so that said, even this, we're intentionally starting slow. What is it for us to build relationally? And then over there, the next year or so, feeling like, okay, this is what it looks like to integrate our two communities into one family. So the things that I can say for sure stays the same. The work that the Edge is doing missionally, there's nothing about that programming that's changing right now. Even the gatherings that the Edge has, nothing about that's changing right now in terms of scheduling. What's changing with Unison? Nothing about that's changing with Unison right now in terms of our Sunday gatherings and the work we're doing midweek. Right now, it's going to feel like we are kind of slowly walking together and beginning to kind of become one. But there are some changes that are happening. What do you kind of see as some things that are happening?
So
some changes.
Changes might look like teams working a lot closer together, both ministries showing up at each other's events. There might be some conversations about planning. So what does the fall look like? Having those conversations together. Leadership development might kind of merge a bit too, because we're solving some of the same problems. Why
Absolutely.
why silo that? Yeah, so these are just some of the basic conversations right now. There's a lot that we're still figuring out too.
Yeah.
There's some things that you just never know until you move in with each other, until you connect at a closer level. So we're still working through some of that. But right now, here's where we see the lay of the land. Here's what we see God doing. And I'd like to invite you into this conversation, into living out this journey of kingdom partnership, whether that's you doing that through Unison's expression, through the Edge's expression, whether that's where you are watching from, but asking yourself the question: how do I partner in kingdom movement? Because that's really what we see God doing through all of this is positioning us to be able to love people well, love people more, love people better.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that I feel like, even as you kind of talked about those changes, is uh, ministry. I don't think ministry is ever supposed to be easy, right? I feel like that's just not a thing.
Ah,
And it's, so that's not the point. But there are strategic partnerships and strategic moves that make ministry more possible, right? So for us to multiply what we're doing, God's invited us to hold and steward some good work. And for us to do that with a multiplied possibility, I think that's one change that I'm actually really looking forward
No,
to
that's
for
true.
really for both.
Yep.
Is to say, oh snap, because of these two becoming one, that really multiplies their possibility in ministry efforts broadly for both. And so that I'm excited about. And I'm also excited to invite you to pray for us,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Pray for us as leaders, pray for us as staffs, pray for us as organizations, as communities of people whom the reality is 2027 summer will look and feel different for both. And what does it look like for us to be seeking the Lord together? Yes, we get to be lead pastors in such a way that we are, integrating what God's inviting us to into the life of, our households. But that doesn't mean we're the only ones hearing from the Lord.
Right,
So
right.
what is the Lord saying? Get that message to us that we might be on the same page,
Sure.
be on one accord, and also integrating the will of the Father for us all as we move forward. So thanks for all the ways you have been supporting and praying and part of both the Edge and Unison. As I said, continue to pray for us as we move forward, and we'll continue to update you as things are kind of coming together over the next year. God bless.